Are you getting tired of Sekiro and are in need of another parrying simulator? Have you ever wished Nidhogg had PvE? Well, that's this game. Driven Out is a challenging 2D combat game where you play as a peasant. Not a hero, not an adventurer, yet. Some dingbat knight drops their sword and you pick it up and start murdering everything you come across. The controls in this game are dead simple. You move left and right, as well as having a button to turn around and a button to run. You can attack high, mid, and low, and you can block the same ways. If you time the start of your block right before you get hit, that's a parry. You can also drop this weird doohickey that makes a hologram of your peasant. Enemies can destroy the doohickey, but if they don't and you die, you revive on top of it. If you die again, you can restart at the point you revived. It's like a self-checkpoint system. And that's it. The rest of the game is just how the enemies test these mechanics. There are no upgrades. You have a sword, you have 3 health, and you have a doohickey. You don't need anything else. You know, not like me. I need validation. Like this video and subscribe or else I'll... The general flow of combat is to block or parry the enemy attack they throw out, and then counter with a hit of your own. There aren't really any combos that I know of, save for literally the first enemy you fight. When you smack most things, they fly away, and the same goes for you. The game saves after every boss and recharges your doohickey so you can use it some more. It works. Little side note, as soon as I'm done with the review, I'm going to share my experience with the whole game, so if anything in the next 2 sections sound vague, I'll probably have them explained in that part, because spoilers or something. I feel like this game does a good job of mixing up the combat encounters even with such a simple moveset. It does almost everything that you can do with it. Without spoiling too much, there are fights where you need to mind both sides of yourself, fights where certain attacks are necessary, fights where you have to play Simon Says with the enemy, and fights where you have to attack instead of block when the enemy starts to attack. It does a good amount to make fights feel like they're different when, in essence, they kinda aren't. The areas and enemies vary wildly, changing every 3 or 4 encounters, and the sprite art and animations are really nice. The game was also relatively bug-free for me. I never had anything crazy happen, but there was one enemy that had some strange hitboxes and interactions. Overall, it's a solid game where you die over and over and over again because the game's flooping hard. It's really hard. You better learn to parry or cheese out the enemy's easiest to punish moves in this game because that's how you have to play. Since the game is super simple, you basically have to play by its rules. You block or parry a certain amount of times, and then you attack once. Every time. Almost every time. The encounters are differentiated by some kind of gimmick the enemy has to attack or defend itself, so you'll probably just die over and over until you figure out the gimmick. Maybe I'm stupid, but some of them took me quite a while to figure out. If you're not prepared to die a lot in this game, it probably isn't for you. The game might not have bugs, but it definitely has exploitable AI. Heck, you could just run past a few of the enemies in the game. Later, Gator. Frogger. The final boss is also bullshit, and I don't like it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Driven Out is a very one-dimensional game that does its dimension the best it can. You can block and attack various enemies at the correct time. Maybe such a statement is reductive, but that's how I feel about it. The game is $15 on Steam, and it took me about 3 hours to get to the final boss. So if you're looking for a long game that you can get a lot of mileage out of, this isn't really it. If you're looking for a short, directed challenge with cool pixel art, then you might enjoy this. If you want to see more, here we go. Here's the Super 2 Lainz narrated and highly edited playthrough. Alright, so you start off fighting this loser knight that dropped his sword. He picks up a stick and tries to whack you with it. He can't hurt you though, so he just runs away like a little bish. The first actual dudes you fight are some shitty foot squire dudes. You can actually combo these guys. Ka-cha! Well, I won't be able to do that ever again. They even try to surround you at one point, but being a pro gamer, I never fell for it. Then you come across an armored knight dude that does a big animation if you parry him. Then after that, there's another one with more health. Too bad, they're easy. You finally catch up with the stick-wielding knight and he pulls out this huge-ass Zweihander-ass, can't use very well-ass sword, and you just show him what it means to be Super Saiyan Legend. Cool. 20 minutes in and 12 deaths to beat the first boss. Now it's gonna get juicy. You walk in a castle and start fighting teleporting werewolves. The difficulty on these guys is super variable. Sometimes they cross you up like it's freaking Street Fighter, and sometimes they just run at you until they die. Nice. They don't have very much range either, so sometimes they get the teleport off but whiff the actual punish. That's my signature move in Smash Brothers, so I expect some royalties. The next enemy is one I had some of the most trouble with in the whole game. It's a bigger werewolf. When you hit it, its eyes turn red and it will continuously attack until you parry it. It also took me dying 30 times in this section to figure out how to use the respawn doohickey. So before that, I was redoing the whole level over and over again. Nice. It was also on this same life that I beat the combo boy and then beat the boss, which is a bigger wolf that's at least twice as easy as the other enemies in the area. 30 deaths in this place. Now one long run away and we come across some dang birds. This first bird introduces a new mechanic, stamina. Blocking and parrying reduce these green balls, and when they're empty, the enemy moves very slowly. That means you need to either find an opening or block parry it until it runs out of stamina so you can get your hit in. The first bird is pretty hard. It has this charge attack that can hit anywhere, and I'm slow and dumb. The second bird is pretty slow and easy though. Then you reach the big boss swan? Or is it an egret? Whatever it is, it made me ask, is this the game I'm playing now? As I reflect the goose, swan, ducks it shoots back at it. Game is easy, first try, 13 deaths on this section. You can't go right anymore after this. So I did the only thing I could do. I went left. In the castle, you run into a spooky dude that starts running away and summoning zombie werewolves to attack. Instead of actually doing anything, I just let them kill me? Well, that's some top tier play right there. Especially when just blocking the zombos gets rid of them. Sometimes they just die? I'm not really sure what's happening. When you catch the spooky dude, he starts poking you with his pointy stick. When you hit him, he disappears and reappears behind you, but a spear doesn't go with him. He calls the spear back to him and it filleted me like a dang fish. Cool, now that I know what he does, he's easy squeezy lemon breezy. That's how it goes, right? 2 deaths on this section. You keep running left and you run into a druid that starts shooting crap at you. If any of them hit you, you shrink to the size of an ant. If none of them hit you, never mind. You run into some big beetle boys that you flip over and beat up. There's also a wasp nest that makes me want to die. 10 times. 2. Got him. Sometimes they just buzz up to you and die, and sometimes they don't even care about you, and other times they just sting the shit out of you. So just like real wasp, actually. After that, you come across a spider. Oh. This is actually a pretty fun fight though. It's kind of like Simon Says. The spider readies and then swings a few seconds later, but it can do this at any angle with all 3 attacks at the same time, so you have to block in the right order. Wapow! Wapow! 17 deaths here. You randomly grow back to normal size and find the druid again. He shoots a concentrated orb of workout supplement at a goat and it turns into that. It's really slow though, and I cheesed it with the power of my thingamawhatsit, so no deaths. Not permanent ones anyway. The druid still has more tricks though and summons an armored goat to fight you. It's got a pretty quick low attack, but if you parry it, you can smack it in the buttocks and deal double damage. Then you have to fight an armored bear. You don't have time to hit it in between attacking unless you parry it or it does the high attack. Doing a low attack on it does double damage. After you beat that, the druid's like, LOL, now fight both of them at the same time. I died a bunch here. I tried to run back right so I could get both enemies on one side of me, but it looks like the goat just comes from stage right no matter what. It's kinda weird too. They try to keep you in the middle and only one of them is really aggro at a time. This lets you just walk them across the stage. After you beat both of them, you finally get to fight the druid. He has a little floating shield that you can't attack through. I almost beat this stupid head on my first try, but he used range and it was super effective. RIP. My checkpoint is at the first bear, so I decide to restart from the last boss so I can allocate my checkpoints better than at the goat and at the bear. This time I get a checkpoint at the 2 at the same time, and then I get one on the freaking druid. I got him easy on the second try. 29 deaths on this part. The werewolf section is still leading at 30. Next, you walk into a giant frog with a shield. If you block a few of his attacks, he'll just hop away. Okay, bye. Then you come across another frog with a thing. Bye. And then after that, there's a fencer frog. Oh shit, that boy's back. Bleh. Okay, so I can't walk past the second frog, who has one of the weirder movesets. He slides and jumps around with his giant jack shuriken thing. He got me quite a few times, but I eventually bonk him and move on to the fencer. This is a straight up block and parry fight because this dude does not let up until his stamina is 0. His high attack also comes out really fast, so he ends up getting me quite a few times. Good thing my checkpoint was right beside him. 19 frogs in the death forest. Wait, no. There's a wall here. I went right, and I went left. Where do I go now? As I'm walking back right, I say hi to that first frog. Ribbit. I got something in the top left of my screen when I killed the swan, and again when I killed the fencer, so maybe it does something somewhere? I take 2 actual minutes to run back to where the swan was. Nope. Nothing. I run all the way back to near where the druid was, and there's a cave. I press up, and boom! I spent 4 minutes of running across the map for this. I'm watching a bird fight a monkey. I beat the bird up some and then realized I could let them both get low and then take them out easy. Whoops. Well, the monkey wins and I can't do anything to it because it has a shield. After a minute of blocking, I finally figured out that you're supposed to attack where it's attacking because when it attacks, it's very slow, allowing your attack to intercept its attack, thus attacking the attack. After that, there's another monkey that runs away when it starts getting beat up. Come back here, monkey. That shield monkey isn't gonna help. I already figured them out. Oh. Okay, this time the shield monkey doesn't stand a chance. The sword monkey comes back and tries to gank you, but it overextends and gets wrecked. The shield monkey is no problem after that. You know what is a problem though? This boss monkey. Ape. Every time it attacks, it jumps backwards, but sometimes it ends up going all... If that was it, it would probably be pretty tough. But after you hit it 3 times in a row, it will double attack, then jump backwards and hype itself up or something. Now it'll slide around and do double attacks every other attack. It's really hard to tell what it's going to do during these double attacks, so I tried to chase it down so it wouldn't power up. This didn't work. It just ran and ran until it hit the next zone. I died to this guy. A lot. As soon as he powered up, it was just stupefying. Sometimes I would feel like the hitboxes on this guy were whack. After dying 29 times, I noticed when he powered up, he would always do 1 attack and then 2 attacks. The attacks every time would be the same. When you hit him, the attacks would change, but the pattern stayed the same. I beat him the life that I figured this out on. 29 deaths on Planet Ape. The next section is dragons. The first enemies are these dual sword dudes that attack in combos you need to block. Fun. They also have a very tiny aggro range. Bye! Then there's a dragon knight on a dragon, so it's doing better than Dark Souls 2. These guys continuously shoot fireballs at you until you get in melee range, then it runs away and charges through you and then starts shooting again. Blah! Thingamabobber, save me! Oh, no. I disagree. This thing sucks. It can fireball and run at the same time. I eventually got either lucky enough or used some mega cheese where if I chased it for a bit and then stopped, I wouldn't be far enough away for it to start shooting fireballs, so it would just turn around and run at me until it died, and then it left the knight on the other side of me, so bye! The boss is a big green dragon. It's green because it makes me sick! It wouldn't be that bad, but it has this second stance it goes in where it can attack with its tail in similar looking ways and shoot fireballs at you until you die. Also, it has that many health! I don't like it. I had a nice speech when I killed it though. Yeah, burner of primates, yeah, you dead, 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 dead. I died 41 times in this section. Finally, something beat the werewolves. The next section is the final one, and it's a doozy. The dragon completes this key thing and you use it to deactivate this force field. Then you come across my least favorite encounter, a brain in a jar with 3 spinny knives. The goal is to use the high attack 3 times to break the jar, but finding the time to go in on it is a big snooze fest and a lot of, wow, that's still a hitbox? After that, it's a rehash of the Swan boss, but now it's an alien and you're reflecting laser bullets. Then there's a cool little bit where you see past bosses in force fields and doohickeys everywhere. I don't know about all that, but I do know that an alien comes out to kick your face in. This is the final boss, and it's a combination of the Frog Fencer, the Dragon Knights, and the Druid. See, it will attack in a 3-hit combo. You have to block or parry all of it, and then you get a chance to attack. But it also has a spinning shield on it that will randomly block attacks, so don't choose wrong in your 2 seconds that you get to counterattack. After you do 3 damage to it, it starts doing 4-hit combos instead. It's just not a fun fight. There's nothing exciting to it, just, you better play perfect for a long time or else you die. Apparently there was a way to cheese it, but it got patched out. After dying 83 times, this happened. Yeah, I think I'm done. The only real reason I was still trying to beat the game was so that I could put the ending on the video and say that I did it. But I really didn't want to play anymore, so I didn't. I put a playthrough in the description where someone goes through the whole game without getting hit 1 time, just in case you want to see some more plays and some more cheese. Compare that to my run where I died a grand total of 275 times and didn't even finish the game. Yeet. Thank you for watching the Super 2 Lainz narrated and highly edited playthrough. Did you like this format? Are you following me on the social mediums? Are you subscribe and leave comment? Please do. 2 Lainz, Audi 5 Dowdy.